How's it going, everybody? Now, if you look behind me, you can see what used to be about 2 acres of white oak woods. And to my right, which you can't see, is what used to be 2 acres of poplar woods, which is now 1 acre of poplar woods. So essentially, I had about 3 acres worth of woods cleared out of my property. I had 2 acres of white oak and 1 acre of poplar. Now, when I say 2 acres of white oak and 1 acre of poplar, there's some other trees mixed in there, but primarily behind me was all white oak, and primarily to my right was all poplar. Okay, I chose to not have all my woods removed because I wanted to maintain some privacy on my property, but basically about 3 acres of woods was removed, and that's 3 out of the 10 acres of my full property is 10 acres, and about 5 acres total is wooded. So I still have about 2 acres worth of woods on my property. The thought just came to me, hey, maybe I could have some people come clear this wood and get paid for the wood. I'd heard about this in the past, and so I looked on the internet and I looked up about having a forester come out. And so that's exactly what I did. And according to everything I've researched, that's the first thing you should do when you're thinking about having your woods cleared, is to have a forester come out to your property, help you to identify what kind of trees you have, what kind of value you have on your property, and how to properly manage it. Is it in your best interest to just clear it? Is it in your best interest to remove some of it? And how you should manage it. Is it in your best interest to wait a few years before you do that? These are things that a forester can inform you about and help you with. Now, I spoke to 2 foresters. Both of them were really nice guys. The first guy gave me a lot of information and made me aware of the fact that I had 2 acres of white oak, which I was also made aware of is a very valuable wood right now. In fact, according to both foresters that I talked to and the loggers that I had come out to my property, white oak right now is actually more valuable than black walnut, which is a notoriously valuable wood. And so that got me excited to maybe have that cleared and to make some money on a property that I've bought and paid money for, to make some money off of it. That's pretty cool, right? So I wanted to find out more, and then I wanted to see what my options were. How would I get the money for this? And the second forester I spoke to, he told me, hey, look, you could clear it yourself. If you clear the woods yourself, you will keep 100% of the profit of the value of your tree because you did the logging on it. But in order for me to do that, I'd have to have a truck, which I do have, but I'd have to have a trailer to put the logs on. I'd have to have some kind of tractor to be able to pull the logs, and it'd be very labor intensive, and I'd also have to be very careful not to kill myself while logging these trees. Logging is a skill that I highly respect, and it takes time to learn how to do it safely. So I pondered that for a while. I decided not to do that because I just don't have the time right now to do that, and the investment that it would cost me would probably take a long time for me to pay off. Even if I was able to, log the wood and make some money off of it, I'd have to invest in some pretty decent equipment to be able to do that. So the next option would be to go with maybe like a professional logger who already has some equipment. Now, if you go with a professional logger, you could go with a big logging team, or you could just go with maybe one guy. It's all different. And those guys all have different deals that they'll work out with you. Some of them will bid on your woods right away, and you automatically know what you're getting right then. Some will not give you a bid, but they'll give you an estimate, and they will try to get the best price, and then they'll split a percentage with you on what they get for the woods. I ended up going with some loggers that the second forester had recommended that I go with. By the way, one caveat about foresters, a lot of them are already connected to some sawmill of their own, and they're already connected to some loggers that they may already know. So a forester isn't necessarily unbiased, and both of the foresters I spoke to were not unbiased in the sense that they already had connections to other sawmills and other loggers. However, both of them were really good guys, and they were honest about that, and they were just, totally honest with me. Okay, so I chose to go with the second forester's recommendation because he seemed to know some people who could handle my poplar a lot better, which my poplar trees were gigantic. And so the right team you need to be able to handle that kind of wood. And so he connected me to some loggers, a father and his two sons who have some heavy duty equipment, and they can handle any type of wood, whatever it is, they can handle it. And their deal was they were going to take 50% of the value of the wood. They would try to get me the best price, and they were going to take 50% of the value. Some people might not want to go with a deal like that. I think it was a better deal, because if you work with the right people, even if you can keep 100% of the value of your wood, if you're not in the logging business, you don't necessarily know or have access to all the markets that they have access to. So even if you could keep 100% of the value of the wood that you log, if you log, let's say you logged it yourself, you still might not get as good of an offer because you just don't know the ins and outs of the business. And the fact that these guys have to make money, they're incentivized to get the best deal, on the wood. So I chose to go with these guys. They gave me a conservative estimate that they would get me $8,000 minimum, which means that the total value would be about $16,000, which was a conservative estimate. We ended up getting a lot more than that. We ended up getting $17,000 and some change. $17,000. I can look at it right now. $17,065.77. So $17,065.77. Okay, that was the total that we got. Okay, that's the total that was paid to us, meaning the total value was double that, okay, of our woods. They came here and they finished in about 5 days. It took them about 5 days to get all the wood out and to finish the job. It would have taken me, I don't know, longer, probably years to finish the job. So the fact that they could do that and I could get clear $17,000, and I don't have to risk killing myself and spend all this extra my own time doing this and negotiating with sawmills to get my best price, for me, was a better deal. For you, if you are someone with a logging skill, or you have this kind of skill, or you have the time on your hands, maybe it is better for you to do it yourself. It would require some investment of your own time, your own money, your own energy, and you'd have to also, be very careful about what you're doing. Okay, so I'll break down what I got for my wood. So I got $17,000 total. For the white oak, we got $7,330.30. So again, that's a little over about $14,660.60 total, but we split that with the loggers. For our poplar wood, we got $6,567.30. So you can double that, and that's what we got total, what we split with the loggers. Then we got what's called pallet wood, which is some wood that's really not terribly valuable, but it can still be used for pallets. And we got $2,781.10. So that's about $5,000 and $5,400 and something, somewhere around there, maybe $5,500 total was the value in pallet wood that we had. And then our pulp wood, we got $387.07 for that. You could double any of those numbers, which gave us a total of $17,065.77. Okay, so that's what we got in 5 days to have our woods harvested. As you can see on our property, they piled a lot of the wood in piles so that if I want to burn it, if I want to cut it, if I want to make firewood, if I want to turn it into wood chips, I can do whatever I want with it. There's a lot of work here to do. So this is a work that I can handle. So I'll be cutting this wood up, logging it, turning it into firewood. I'll be making some cooking wood out of it, making some charcoal out of it. I'll be making some wood chips out of it. I plan to do all kinds of things with the wood and clean it up. Plan to plant some more trees around the border. There's a lot of saplings that grow around this property to increase my level of privacy that I have on the property. So I got a lot of work to do. The loggers usually will try to pile wood up and try to leave it in a way to where it's manageable for you. But again, it's 3 acres and I'm one man. So it's going to be a big job. So just remember, if you get your woods cleared, you're going to have a lot of brush and a lot of wood and a lot of tree limbs left around. You're going to have firewood that can last you for years worth of firewood if you get if you just got 1 acre cleared, you're going to have tons of wood. I mean, if you got 3 like I have an abundance of firewood, an abundance of wood chips, an abundance of mulch, an abundance of all kind of things. But anyway, I just wanted to give you an overview of my overall experience. Would I do it again? Absolutely. Would I do it this way? Yes, I would do it this way. I wouldn't do it myself. Again, that might not be what you do. Just remember about the whole sharing your profits with somebody else you have to take into account, you know, that do you have access to the markets that these guys have access to? Do you want to spend your time learning all of that and doing all that work, basically becoming a professional logger to some degree, or do you want to just let someone who's already a professional handle it for you and to share the profit with them? I chose to share the profit with them on this one. That's all something that you can figure out for yourself, what you want to do. The other thing is that, like I said, some other YouTube videos are saying, you know, try to get foresters who are unbiased or have a contract beforehand. That I didn't have a contract beforehand. I basically had a handshake with these guys and a kind of a conservative estimate. There's a degree of trust you just kind of have to have, or at least in my area, I had to have. I didn't have the ability to, you know, I don't know too many people in this area. We've only been here for a year. I don't know anybody that would just give me a contract right from the start. I talked to a few foresters, and I don't know any foresters that weren't connected to a sawmill. So these are things you can try to do. Maybe try to get a contract beforehand. I didn't do it. I think it worked out well for me. But, you know, these are just all things that you have to think about when you're getting your logs removed. Do you want to you know, there was some degree of trust I had to have. You know, I had these guys cutting wood. There's stacking up wood. I would come by and take pictures of the logs just to kind of keep track of how many logs I saw. If you dealt with some untrustworthy guys, could they potentially kind of steal wood from you? I think they could. I think it's possible. So that's some things you have to think about. The guys I was working with just seemed like really, really good guys, and it was just my intuition to trust them to some degree. I still would come by and look and watch what they were doing. I'd take picture of the woods that they were stacking up and made sure I kind of counted it and kind of had an idea. So it all seemed out to work out pretty fair for me. I'm very happy with the outcome of it. $17,000 I didn't have, and now I have access to tons of firewood, tons of work to do, tons of things to do on the property. So anyway, guys, I hope that helped you. Give you an idea. We got a little over $17,000 for 3 acres of woods, 2 acres of white oak, 1 acre of poplar. White oak right now is very, very valuable. So find out what kind of woods you have on your property at the very least, even if you don't even intend to have the woods removed. At least have a forester come out and give you an idea of what you have. Learn as much from that guy as you can. It's free education. It's hard to educate yourself on it without a forester. You could learn on the internet, but it's a lot easier to just have a forester come out and to teach you a lot. You can learn a lot just from talking to a forester for about an hour or two. Anyway, I hope that was all very informative for you guys. If you have any questions in the comments, please feel free to ask, and I will do my best of my ability to answer those questions for you guys. All right, guys, take it easy. Peace.